Alrighty, well, geez, I can't talk. It's late. I'm a little tired, but it was a good day. Bitcoin was pumping, miners were pumping today. My little Bears, Chicago Bears, also won against the Chiefs. Yes, it was a preseason game, but it was nice to see them win. And Ben Johnson did not give up on them winning. So that was nice to see. Nonetheless, Bitcoin, oh my gosh, had a nice day today. Obviously, Powell spoke this morning at a conference that they had there. His tone was dovish. The market loved it. Obviously, things pumped from there. So this is going to be good news for us here going forward. And we'll see where we end up at here. But right now, let's take a look at what we got going on here with obviously the miners. We have one news story from Terawulf as well. And that's about it. We'll get to Q&A if you guys are around. If not, we'll call it a day. But as always, you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at Bitcoin here today. Had a really nice day. So let's go here. Bitcoin here, you can see, had a nice pump back up here to above the 50-day simple moving average. It closed there. We got pretty close to the 100 SMA as well. I talked about that, right around 111,000 is where we might bounce from there. And sure enough, we did. So that was a nice bounce that we saw. And everything was bouncing here today because of Powell's comments here, which was nice to see. Miners did really good as well, except for maybe two there. Bitcoin's down a little bit here on the new day. Obviously, it's for Saturday now, so not a big deal. But Bitcoin was up today almost 4%. It was up 3.94%. It was up over 4% at one point. Came back down a little bit here. But, man, this is nice to see. So, like I said, I think going forward, this should be pretty good for us. I think for September, the rate cuts are probably going to be in. Whether we get 25 basis points or 50 basis points, I don't know. I'm guessing 25 basis points, but we'll see when that happens here. Ethereum had also a fantastic day today. Not only that, but the markets had a great day. Dow Jones was up 1.89%. NASDAQ was up 1.88%. S&P 500 was up 1.52%. And then the Russell was up 3.92%. The best day out of all of those guys here. So obviously the small stocks were doing really good here. Ethereum had a really, really good day here. It got to I think it's a new high for it. It got up to 4,886 and 10 cents here. It was up 14.36% on the day. And if we look back far enough, is that the highest we've been? It's close. Let me see if we can maybe look at the weekly, maybe see it better that way. It is. It's a new high that we got on Ethereum here. 4,886 and 10 was the new high here on it. So I think it is going to be going to 5,000, potentially even higher than that, maybe 6,000, 7,000 before everything is said and done, maybe even 8,000. Who knows where that thing's going? But it was a good day. Bitfarms was up 3.25% here on the day, went up even higher, got close to the 200 SMA here, got kind of shunned there a little bit, fell back down a little bit. Bitdeer was up 5.86%, also got close to the 200 SMA. Kang was up 4.48%. This one actually closed above the 50 SMA on this one you can see here, so that was kind of good news there. Cypher was up nicely as well, 8.14% today. Cleanspark was up nicely, 5.25%. That one got back to the 100 SMA and closed above that slightly. CORZ was down today for some reason, 1.74%. It was up higher and then came back down. Hive was up nicely as well, 8.15%. That one closed above the 200 SMA on that one. So that's looking good. Hut 8 was up 9.36%. Really good day. IREN had a really good day as well, 9.39%. That one got to a new high here recently to 2172. I think this is the new 52-week high, and if I'm not mistaken, this isn't the high that we had. Yeah, I mean, this is when they went public here, right at around $28, so I wouldn't really count that. I would say this is more or less their new high here for IREN right now. Looking at the other ones here, Mara was up 5.03%. Got also close to the 50 SMA, and then got rejected from that a little bit. Riot was up 7.74%. Nice day there as well. And Wolf today was down 0.33% after being up much higher on the day. It was up like 5-7% at one point, I think, and then it came back down, maybe even higher than that at one point. So that was interesting to see here. MicroStrategy did pretty well today. Bounced back up 6.09%. It closed above the 200 SMA as well. Galaxy was up 6.35%. This is Block was up 6.79%. Coin was up 6.52%. Exodus was up 4.51%. Metaplanet was down actually 0.6%. This one is Nexon was up a little bit 0.18%. Semler was up 4.42%. And then Phoenix was down 0.19%. GameStop was up 1.46%. Small miners, any did really good here, up 11.73%. Argo was up 6.35%. DigiPower was up 5.02%. DMG was up 7.51. Mawson, for some reason, was down 1.65%. And Canon was up tremendously, up 13.98%, almost 14% here. It closed above the 50 and the 100 SMAs there, so that's looking pretty good for that one. The minor ETFs also did really good here, around 5% plus, so that was good to see there. The Ethereum holding companies also had a really great day because of Ethereum pumping quite nicely, but they didn't outperform Ethereum, so a little surprised there, right? Ethereum was up 14% roughly. These guys, except for SBET, was up 15.69%. Game was up 12.08%. BTCS 11.83%. BitDigital was up 5.8%. And BMNR was up 12% roughly on that. Bitcoin dominance here was way down today because obviously we saw a huge pump in Ethereum. Bitcoin did very well as well, but Ethereum obviously outperformed here. So we saw some rotation probably happening from Bitcoin into Ethereum is my guess on that, because we're seeing that into probably other altcoins as well at that point. Open, if you guys are on Twitter, you probably know Eric Jackson there. He's been touting Open for a while. This thing had a huge day today. It was up 39.17% there. I talked about it a couple of days ago, maybe not on here, but I think it was in our Patreon and Discord servers. I talked about it there, that I was thinking about taking a position in that one a couple of days back. Would have been probably like right around, I think, August 25th. Or the where is it at? Sorry, August 19th. I was talking about it right there. Probably should have taken a position there on August 20th. Didn't, so this one has kind of run out from me a little bit on that one. Okay, now obviously the miners are not trading here after hours, so we're not going to take a look at that. We do have a story, a couple stories here at least from Terawulf. We'll talk about that one, but Bitcoin right now is up 0.59% in August, so we're back in the green here. We do have a couple more days to go, about 8 to 9 more days to go. We'll see where we end up at, but it looks like we're going to be in the green here. Hopefully we get to like 5% at least being up on the month of August. I think that would be nice. Would have liked to see better returns, but I think with all the adoption that we're seeing here, it's going to be more muted going forward than we have seen here in the past, like in 2021, where we were up 13.8%. 2017, we were up 65% in that month in August at that point. I don't think we're going to see that here. September might be a good month for us if we get the rate cuts, which I think we will. That should pump Bitcoin and obviously risk-on assets up as well. And we'll see where we go from there. Bitcoin ETF inflows here. Let's see what we got here on that one, if that one gets updated here. Surprisingly, we had outflows today. I thought we would have inflows from it because Bitcoin was obviously pumping, but looks like BlackRock sold about 200 million there. Others were buying, actually. BlackRock was the only one that was selling here. So we were down 23.2 million in outflows here for Friday right now as it is. All right, only good news story that we do have here is going to be on Terawulf. Terawulf announces full exercise of green shoe option in 1 billion convertible senior notes offering. This was obviously upsized from the original 400 million to 850 million and then now to 1 billion. So congrats to those guys there. They're going to be using this cash to fund the HPCI data center expansion along with corporate purposes as well. So nicely done by those guys. They definitely have the funds now to build all this stuff out. So that's awesome to see, and I wish them all the best. If you guys got into it, and Terawulf, congrats there. I did not see this. This was not on my bingo card for them getting a deal this size, but congrats there for everybody. All right, that is it. That's all I got for you guys. Let's get into Q&A here. We'll call it a day. I just wanted to come on here just to chat with you guys a little bit. It was an awesome day. Like I said, it was a great Friday. Definitely needed this after this week. It's been a rough week for us. So happy to see that. And let's see where your thoughts are on this. Are you guys happy? I'm sure you guys are happy, but are you thinking this is going to continue going forward or not? So here we are. Q&A. Let's get into it. Questions, preface those with a question mark or Q. I greatly appreciate you guys coming in here to chat a little bit. And we'll get through this, see if we got anything in there. All right, Sir Lellington says, hi, Seb. How you doing? Thank you for coming in. All right. Abi Hilash, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Would Cleanspark go to $80 if Bitcoin goes to 200,000? No. I would love it. I would love to see that, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think, no, I'm going to be sandbagging this quite a bit here. So Bitcoin goes at least to 200,000 here, which is roughly, 80%, 90% from here. I would hope that and expect that Cleanspark should do at least the same amount, go at least 2x from where it's at right now. It could do better. And then if they come out with any kind of ambitions towards HPC AI, that might pump the stock as well. And if they provide actually some details on sites that would be a good fit for it, I think that would also help. So we could go above the 20, maybe do $30 and maybe beyond that. But I'm just hoping at least that we get a 2x from here, right? But if we get more than that, that'd be awesome. Sadie, thank you so much for coming in and for the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Abilash, open went 40 today. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Neville says, sold my Cleanspark for a small profit and rotated it all into Cypher. Okay, so you're kind of doing the same thing that I did. I didn't sell everything. I sold a small portion of Cleanspark along with IREN and rotated some of that into Cypher and Bitfarms at that point. This was last week that I did that. Yeah, I think it was last week. All right. Kyle, thoughts on BitDeer once 40 exahash in ASIC and HPC revenue? You always said they would miss the run, but now they will be timing it pretty well. My original expectation was that the run would be the same as previous cycles. So, right, we have a bull run and then we go into a bear market. That was my concern there. But it looks like now that we're going to have maybe an extended cycle in Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to go up higher for a longer period of time. Yeah, it looks like they have timed it pretty well here, if that works out that way, right? With them growing here quite tremendously by the end of the year, right? They're supposed to get to like 43 exahash, 48 exahash, I think, by the end of the year, if my memory is correct. And then they obviously will be growing some more in next year as well. And if they get any deals for HPCI in Ohio, they could also pump the stock quite nicely there. All right. Neville says, it's looking like an extended cycle. The party will take place in 2026. Rate cuts this year, new Fed next year, more rate cuts after. Yeah, so we might be going into 2026, 2027. This looks like an extended cycle potentially for Bitcoin here, right? All the adoption, everything else that's happening. I've been talking about an extended cycle here for, 6 months, 9 months, 10, 12 months, or something like that. I can't remember how long I've been talking about it, but that's kind of one of the things that I've been thinking about it as we saw Bitcoin reach a new all-time high before the halving event, which never happened before. We are seeing extended drawdowns on Bitcoin over several months instead of several days. So that's another kind of thing that's changed around from last time. So yeah, I'm optimistic that we will have an extended cycle. Kyle says, Pump and Tumbly are eternally optimistic. I like to listen to their views. Yeah, they are, right? They're all calling for Ethereum to go up much higher, for Bitcoin to go up much higher as well. And I'm kind of the same way. I'm optimistic, maybe to a fault at sometimes, I think. All right. Neville says, I'm now the king with the #1 crown. That's awesome. Spoke too soon. I got it back. Yeah, the more you comment, the more you get the crown. All right, Kyle, BitDeer price estimate 200,000 BTC and HPC deal 60 plus. Depending on the deal for HPC, right? That's one of the big things that we really don't know on these guys or anybody else really, right? IREN has a huge potential there as well. They got 2 gigawatts of potential plus that, and it just depends. Do they get a deal for 1 gigawatt? Do they get a deal for 100 megawatts, right? So it's all going to be dependent on that, I think. But could they get to $60? I mean, where's BitDeer right now? BitDeer right now is at 13. I mean, that's, geez, I mean, they're going to basically a 5x from where they are right now. That I don't know. I mean, we saw Terawulf obviously get a deal. They're up almost 100% from where they were. Cleanspark, or not Cleanspark, IREN has done very well on the potential for an HPC deal. Plus, they have great operations for Bitcoin. Everybody else has kind of, they've done great as well, but not as great as maybe IREN has. So I don't know. 60 would be on the high end, I think, and maybe next year sometime, but it also depends on how much they dilute in that process as well. So it's kind of hard to tell right now, but I would say, $25 to $30 I think would be fair, maybe on the low side, and if we get more than that, that would be great. Okay, Kenny, question, which one announces the deal first, IREN or, oh geez. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Cypher almost had a deal there with OpenAI, if you recall, but they got pulled at the last minute, basically. Yeah, I don't know. I really do not know on that one. All right. Sir Lellington, off topic, is seeking alpha worth paying for to maximize stocks selected? I had Seeking Alpha for a year. I don't know. I really do not know. Didn't really help me out. But yeah, that's your call there. Sir Lellington says, let's hope BTC continues to pump. I think it will, right? We have a dovish Fed right now, which is good. And then the next big pump is going to be probably with the rate cuts in September. And then if we get them again in, what, October, November? Or is it November and then December, something like that? That would be great. Sir Lellington again here. Come on, Cypher, get a deal. Yeah, Cypher, IREN, all these guys to get a deal, that'd be great. All right, Neville says hybrid miners are the way to go. So obviously Bitcoin mining and HPC. Yeah, it's definitely been the preferred investment to get into, I guess, this cycle. For the last year, I guess you could say, when this all started, when we started talking about all this stuff. So it does appear to be that way. And yeah, I mean, we'll just see how it continues going forward. All right. Kenny's got a question. Do you know why the deal got pulled from Cypher? I've heard for whatever reason it was up to Sam Altman. I think he pulled the deal for whatever reason. I don't know whether he got a better deal with somebody else. I don't know. I do not know on that one. John, if Bitcoin goes to 200,000, what will Riot stock price be? I mean, Riot, right? Do they get a deal as well for HPCI? The Riot right now is 1322, right? I think Bitcoin, just on Bitcoin economics, them getting to 45 exahash by the end of the year, or actually by the end of the first quarter, I think, of 2026, is when they're targeting that. That will help out. Bitcoin goes to 200,000. Their revenues will be increasing as well. So that should help out. I would think that they would at least double from here, bare minimum, right? So we're looking at somewhere around $26, $27, maybe something like that is where I would think. And then if they get an HPCI deal on top of that, then we're looking probably closer to like $35, $40 per share maybe for those guys. But again, it depends on how much they dilute, right? So a lot of unknowns here. But that's kind of where I would kind of think that they would be valued at. But again, it depends on the type of HPCI deal they get. If it's a small deal, may not have a huge pump on it. You get a large deal, you have a large pump on it at that point as well. Okay, talked about that one. Let's see. Oh, Kyle, sorry, I missed your comment there. Kyle says, one thing that can't be factored in is FOMO and the amount of extra capital into stocks, which last bull run accounted for such high prices. Could happen again, but it will rise and fall fast. FOMO, I don't know if FOMO is going to happen this time around, to be honest with you. The reason I say that is because we haven't seen Bitcoin go at a nice pace in the upward direction. What I mean by that is last cycle and prior cycles as well, Bitcoin would go parabolic in a number of months. Here we're seeing Bitcoin do like these little stepping stones. You have a step up, you go sideways for a while, you even come down a little bit, then you do another step up, and it's, you know, it's one of those things. If that changes and Bitcoin does start to go parabolic, let's say it goes to 200,000 within the next 3 months, right, where we're just constantly adding value to Bitcoin, at that point we might see FOMO, I think. But if Bitcoin goes up to, you know, 138 from where it's at right now to 140 or something like that, and then we go sideways for a couple of months, right, you're probably not going to see that kind of FOMO, I don't think. Because at each time that we get up to a certain point, people are going to be like, well, it's flat again, I'm getting out, this is the end of it, right? So you're not going to see that. But when it's continually rising up and up and up and up, that's when you get FOMO in. So I don't know if we'll see it, but we'll see. All right. Okay, I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Cut up to all you guys' questions here on it. We got Sir Lellington again, sorry. We all feel denied as Bitcoin miner investors. Let's hope all this waiting pays off. Yeah, right. I would love to see, obviously, all these miners go up, you know, another 3-5x from where they are. To be honest, I'll be happy if we go 2 to 3x on these guys, based on just what I'm seeing here with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not doing what it did in the past. It's gotten taken over by institutions and big money, and you know, it's going to go up, I think, longer, which might be a good thing for these guys also. These guys might actually go up as well for the miners, but it's going to take a longer time. So if we were thinking to get out of these guys by the end of this year, because that's how the cycles typically would end, I don't think that's going to be the case here. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I tempered down my expectations for where we could go this year. Okay, Yellow Gambler says, question here, why is Bitcoin 4-year cycle broken? Institutions, yeah, I think that's the main reason there. Price has also gotten much higher in price, right, from where it's at. So what we're seeing here now is less volatility in Bitcoin. We're also seeing the percentage increases are lower than what we've seen in the past, but the dollar value amount is greater, right? As value goes up higher, it takes a lot more to add to it to go, 600% up. So you're probably not going to see that, but you will see, Bitcoin continue to go up 5-10% a month, maybe. Sometimes we're gonna be down, but overall we should probably get somewhere between 25 and 50% gains a year right now. It seems like on it. I mean, we're only up 15-20% so far in the year as it is. If you look at from the beginning of the year to where we are right now, that's not what we have seen historically, at least. Let me see if I got this chart where it shows the. We have a quarterly, but I don't think we have an annual here. Chart on it. Nah, we don't. But we could probably look at it on the chart itself here for Bitcoin really quick and see how that's been playing out here as well. So if we go to the 12 months chart on Bitcoin here, we can see here. Let me zoom this in really quick. And this is Bitcoin here. So you can see here that this year so far, we're up 23%. Last year, we had a pretty good year. We were up 120%. The prior to that, which was 23, we were up 155%. The prior to that, we were down 64%. And then we were also up 59% in 21, but we were up higher than we came down, right? So in theory there, we were about 100%, probably more than that in 2021. We were up also 300% in 2020, right? So you're seeing these kind of smaller percentage amounts, but you're seeing also much greater dollar gains here. So this year we're up 22%. In 2024 we were up 51% for where we closed. In 2023 we're up 25%. In 2021 we were up 17%. 2020 we were up 21%, right? So you're seeing at least we should see more to come later on this year, but you're going to see higher dollar values and lower percentage gains, right? Hopefully that makes sense for you guys there. All right, let's go back here. Neville, good night all. Neville, thanks for coming in so much. Make sure you give Seb a like on the way out. I appreciate it. Sour Melon Gaming. Seb, remember in March and April when IREN was $5 and $6 and everyone was crying about it. Now it's $21. That's Cleanspark right now. Buy and hold. Cleanspark is going to have its run and it's going to be big. Yeah, we saw that not only this year, we saw that also back in 2024 when Cleanspark went on a run and we were talking about IREN and these other guys not having a run. What's going on with them? Well, yeah, eventually I think they will get their turn as well. All right, Yellow, when do you think Bitcoin will start going up only like S&P like 10 to 15% a year? Oh, I think I think once we get close to like $1 million, I think, on Bitcoin, at that point, I think we will see slower percentage gains. Probably maybe even after we get to like 500,000 Bitcoin, and after that, it's going to just go, 10% up, because at that point, you're still going up like 50 to maybe 100,000. Right, 10 to 15% gains or something like that. So you can start seeing that. Sour says, also, thanks for streaming tonight still. We appreciate you very much. I greatly appreciate you guys as well for coming in this late. Right, I was watching the Bears game against the Kansas City Chiefs there. So that's why I kind of came in late here. But I still wanted to do a chat with you guys because I thought it was just a great day and a great sentiment in the market overall from the dovish sentiment from Powell as well. And that should be really good for us here going forward into the end of August, into September as well, and possibly into October. So I'm looking forward to it. It was 50-50 basically yesterday as far as how Powell is going to sound, right? Hawkish or dovish. We got him on the dovish side here, which is great. We'll take it. Definitely helped out tremendously here. And it definitely helped fatten up our wallets a little bit as well. All right, that is it. We'll call it a day. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's see, I got John Daniel coming in here with a question as well. So we'll get to that question. Okay. Hi, Seb. How can we find out if insiders are selling? Look at the SEC filings for these guys. Go to sec.gov and then search for the company ticker there. You can find it there. That's the way that I normally look for it. But you got to read through it as well. Sometimes they sell because it's part of their share-based compensation. So they sell the portion that they have to pay out in taxes basically for it. So be careful of that. That's not always the case that they're selling. It's just because they have to sell to cover that expense there. So keep that in mind, okay? Yep. But that's it. We'll call it a day. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for coming in this late. Greatly appreciate you guys. Love you all. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll get back in the swing of things on Sunday, and we'll talk about some other things maybe at that point as well. But yeah, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys then.